I've won with the all evolution deck, but what about the no evolution deck? Today I'll be trying to win battles by only using Eevee to do damage. So out of all the Eevee cards available, I have to decide which one to use. Thankfully, I think the choice is pretty obvious. This Eevee does 20 damage for every heads you flip in a row, which means that it's possible for Eevee to do almost 1000 damage in one attack. Well, only if you're really lucky. More often what ends up happening is that Eevee does only 0 damage. And it's kinda hard to win when you have a 50% chance to do nothing. So Eevee's going to need a little help to make this challenge a bit more doable. I'm still only using Eevee to attack, but there's a Pokemon that can help without attacking. Hypno's ability puts our opponent's Pokemon to sleep if we flip heads. Yeah, this deck is going to be full of coin flips, but that's what this game is all about, you know? And when our opponent is asleep, they can't attack or retreat. So if Eevee flips tails, Hypno can give us a second chance. Or even a third chance, depending on how long our opponent stays asleep for. And I'm only playing water energy to make sure I can never use Hypno to attack. Also because the water matches the Eevee art. Anyways, this challenge was going to be really difficult because I wanted to win the standard way, by taking 3 points to win the game. Sure, cheesing a win on the first turn might not be too hard, but I wanted to prove that Eevee could overcome anything. Well, eventually. Most of the challenges I've done had taken me hundreds of battles to complete, so I was ready for this one to take just as long. But somehow, I happened to win on the very first battle. Okay, first game with the Eevee deck. It's their turn, and now it's our turn. Okay, let's play this Pokeball, and now we have all of our attackers ready to go. We can bench the Drowsy and the Eevee, and let's start attacking. Our first continuous steps. There's 1 heads. There's 2 heads. Yeah, 2 heads is a KO. That's pretty lucky to get a KO on the first attack. Thankfully, Flabebe only has 40 HP. We're setting up the LGM. Maybe they have the evolution in the hand. And this is their most immediate attacker. Looks like they're attaching to the LGM and just a headbutt. They don't have the evolution, but that 20 damage is already a third of our health. We do have Hypno, so we can evolve. I'm thinking here we should try to trap the Mew EX. Maybe make that fall asleep, and maybe if we're lucky we can KO this Mew right here. But that's a pretty low chance, so probably not. Okay, let's try using our ability. We'll flip the coin here, and it's Tails, but that's okay. We'll just get the bad luck out of the way, and hopefully we get lucky here. Another Tails. That's okay. 0 damage is to be expected sometimes. That's gonna happen. Let's see how they respond. They have Mythical Slab, so maybe they can find another Psychic Pokemon, and it looks like they didn't find anything. Just attaching to Mew, they're just going to attack for 20, which is not bad at all. Eventually we won't be able to take these 20 hit attacks, but for now we'll be okay. Okay, our second try at putting Mew to sleep, and also Tails, that's alright. Hopefully we can get a heads here. There's 1 heads, and just 1 heads, but 20 damage is plenty enough. We'll chip away at this Mew's health, turn by turn, attack by attack. I guess they're just piling up their energy on the Mew. It doesn't seem like they have much else going in their hand. But this Eevee is going to get knocked out soon, so maybe we should try to send up our benched Eevee. Let's try another sleep. And we flip heads this time, so even if we miss an attack here, we'll still be okay. Hopefully, if they don't wake up. Okay, retreat into the healthy Eevee, and let's use continuous steps. Okay, 1 heads, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 6 heads in a row is pretty lucky. And that's the final 2 points for the victory. Okay, wait, the challenge is over just like that? With a 1% chance attack on the first battle? Well, now it was time for the real test. Could Eevee win a second time? And not just against any deck. That Mew deck was a fun idea, but it's not exactly super strong. So now I wondered, could Eevee win against the best of the best and defeat a meta deck? I got back to battling, and they started to go a little more like how I expected. Not good. If I had to describe how playing this deck feels, it's like if you open lots of packs, but instead of getting cool cards, you just get a number. And I kept rolling 0 over and over and over. I was actually getting lucky with my sleeve flips, but because Eevee was still flipping tails, that mostly meant I was just making my losses take a lot longer. I started to wonder if I had used up all my luck in the first battle. Was it even possible to win twice? But Eevee and I couldn't give up. If there's one thing I've learned from years of playing Pokemon, it's that you and your partner can overcome anything, as long as you believe. So I kept going. And then finally, after hours of losses, Eevee had the best series of attacks I've ever seen. Okay, we're going against a Druddigon, and that's not good. That rough skin is gonna be pretty rough for us. There's a Froakie. I think this might be a Gyarados deck. They're playing their 2 Pokeballs, so maybe we'll see if that's true. Oh, there's the Magikarp. Do they have flares on all of their Pokemon? That's pretty cool. They benched a bunch of Pokemon, and now it's our turn. We can play a Slab, I suppose. And unfortunately, we put Research at the bottom. That's okay. Let's just play the one we have in our hand. There's the Drowsy. We can bench that, and we can start attacking on our first turn. There's 1 heads, 2 heads, 3 heads, 4 heads. Okay, 80 damage is pretty good. Not quite a one-hit KO, but it's gonna be most of it, so hopefully we can KO it on the next turn. We do take 20 damage from the rough skin every time we do damage, so that might be a little problematic if we have to attack into Druddigon a bunch. Get a Research. We might be finding their evolutions soon. There's the Frogadier. And another Druddigon, so can't really use Sabrina here to avoid attacking into Druddigon. I think we're gonna have to take this damage. We can play Pokeball at least. There's our second Eevee. We have the whole family here. We can use our potion, so they can't just knock us out with like a Greninja ability or something. We can evolve to Hypno and try to put them to sleep. And that's a Tails, which is okay. Or put energy on the Hypnos so we can retreat it if needed. All we can do now is attack. Oh nice, 1 heads, 2 heads, that's pretty good. We only needed 1, but we got the knockout in 2 hits. Here's our first point. Who are they gonna send up next? Okay, the other Druddigon, but at least we have Sabrina, so we can push that away. We don't have a second one to make us attack into. There's Professor's Research from them. They're gonna keep attaching to their Magikarp, but they don't have the Gyarados just yet. I'm thinking here if we use Sabrina, they're not gonna send up their Magikarp because they want to protect that, so we're probably going into the Frogadier. Let's try to put this to sleep. So maybe we can trap it. There's the heads. We have a second chance, potentially. Let's do a continuous steps. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? That is so many. 100 damage in 1 attack. This has been way too lucky. Okay, there's another point. If they send up the Druddigon, they don't have the Gyarados. They don't have the Gyarados. There's another Froakie. We're gonna keep attaching to their Magikarp. They don't have the Gyarados just yet. But we still have to get past this final Druddigon, which is gonna take a lot of attacks. And I don't know if we can do that before its ability knocks our Eevees out. Pokeball for our second Drowsy, so we can bench that. Okay, let's try to put this to sleep. We're probably gonna need some extra tries on this Druddigon. Thankfully he falls asleep. Attach an energy to Drowsy. Okay, let's continue with steps. There's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is way too lucky. Another 120 damage. We knocked it out in 1 hit. That's our 3rd point for the game. I still can't believe how lucky that game was. Eevee didn't miss a single attack and did 340 damage total, completing the challenge for a second time. After that, I was kinda hoping I could get an attack with 10 heads in a row, so I recorded more battles, but 6 heads was still the highest I could get. I also started to run out of storage space, so I had to stop there. But I was still very happy to win some amazing games with Eevee. Eevee overcame more than I could have imagined, and for that, Eevee's a champion in my eyes. Thanks for watching.